You also been playing as the USA. There's been a couple of pretty significant changes since I last played the USA. For example, capital in Washington, D.C. gives some pretty big buffs. And if we move it out of Washington, D.C., we get a huge debuff of like negative 25% incorporation speed and negative 15 legitimacy. So basically, the capital has to stay in Washington, D.C. But that's really not a significant debuff. If anything, it's a buff with the extra incorporation speed. I'm gonna obviously start incorporating all of our newly acquired states. And probably the most important change since I last played is that wages are way lower. In 1.10.3, they reduced wages by like 100% almost. Like, buildings used to pay out pretty much all of their profits in wages, and now, like, most buildings pay like 5 wage, which is. Buildings pay almost always the same wage as each other now instead of just paying whatever wage they feel like, which definitely feels a lot more realistic, and I definitely like that change quite a lot. We go up to high taxes. Government's pretty illegitimate, unfortunately, but not too much we can do about that because I do want to make some more monies. And I'll go expand some construction sectors in Pennsylvania, build up a railway, make sure the railways are subsidized. That would be very bad if the railways weren't subsidized. And I'll also put on some decrees on Pennsylvania, and let's not do social mobility. Just want to make sure we keep 100% authority, I think, for now. Or is there any laws I really want to pass at the start? Probably secret police, so we'll go for that. Now I'm going to disband William Cramp and Sons because it's the worst company ever, and I'm going to pick up New York Metalworks because I have a plan for my 7 companies, and this is one of them. I am, however, not going to be using the industry charter for steel because I'm going to be getting steel from Duro y Campagna eventually. I'm also going to start improving relations with the UK. And I'm going to declare my day 1 war on Mexico. France used to really like to get involved on Mexico's side if you declared it in Mexico's strategic region, but this no longer really happens, so you can just safely deck Mexico for protectorate. I'm just going to put in a bunch of conscripts to scare the Mexicans, and then hopefully they'll just back down to the play. Something like that. And then we can just add in a million, like, revoke claim war goals or whatever. 60 maneuvers. We can add in like 2 liberate country war goals, and that should be enough to hopefully get Mexico to back down. We'll see. The Finney Proviso? Yeah, sure. Let's ban slavery in the West. That sounds good. Okay, Mexico just backs down. Very good to see, because we definitely need to get a relationship with Mexico very quickly, because yeah, the Mexicans are very disloyal. A big part of this is going to be that our army is not sufficiently large. At some point, we might even want to build up a bigger army, because it's just going to be really hard to keep Mexico loyal with this small of an army. I'm going to build up a little bit more construction. I'm going to start expanding iron mines in Pennsylvania, because I really want to get up more iron. We're going to be running a pretty big iron shortage eventually. Get the atmospheric engine event, take that 3.5k tech progress. Got to legislative failures, not what we like to see. It's really hard to keep Mexico loyal. They're currently getting like 0.7 Libby Desire a week if we remove these change rate scaling and truce modifiers, which is quite huge. We build up an army, we can get rid of a lot of this. We're going to get our relations good as well. Yeah, okay, unfortunately we failed secret police. The law pass did not go very well. Yeah, there's not a whole lot we can do to get Mexico loyal at the moment. I mean, we could try to build up an army, but that would be kind of expensive. I don't know. It's kind of tough. I'm going to start improving relations with Texas so we can get the Texan statehood, because I just realized that they didn't get annexed by Mexico. So we should get our annexation on them. That'll be a nice little bit of territory. We got a mass migration of South Germans from France into Connecticut. These states used to not be able to get mass migrations, but they changed the cap, or the minimum, from 20 arable land to 10, so now you can get mass migrations into these New England states. They're still like too small. They should all get merged together into 2 states, northern New England and southern New England. This is what I demand, but unfortunately the Vic3 developers do not agree. Well, we're actually not gaining that much Liberty Desire anymore. If we had our army power projection fixed, we wouldn't be gaining Liberty Desire, but the problem is that building up an army is kind of expensive. We'd probably build up a little bit more construction. And we're getting a Dutch mass migration from Belgium. Did they win the London Conference or something? Oh yeah, they did win the London Conference. So that would explain why we are getting a Dutch mass migration from them. What do we want to do here in order to... We need to build up more construction, probably universities, and then maybe we can consider investing in a little bit of army to make Mexico loyal, because yeah, Mexico really is disloyal because of having a stronger army than us. Even though we have the ability to make like 1 billion conscripts, they don't consider that. Okay, well, Texas is a new state of the Union. Very nice. I got a mass migration from Croatia, Slavonia. What am I gonna? How many pops are actually coming from Croatia? Whoa, we're getting like so many pops from Croatia. Oh, they just all stopped? Oh no, French people are, there's so many French people leaving their country. What? That's a ridiculous amount of people going to Argentina. What? Argentina actually has a higher mass migration attraction than us, just because Cordoba has so much, I guess. Cordoba has 76 migration attraction. Oh yeah, because they can use greener grass campaigns as a small country, unlike us. If you could create a power block and go freedom movement, that would help out a lot. But I really want to create a sovereign empire, and yeah, that's not exactly easy at the moment because PB is so weak. Once we get an election where the Liberals win, or the Whig Party, we'll be doing a lot better. But for now, Democrats are winning the elections, meaning we can't really go into being a monarchy. Prop tax isn't quite more money yet, but I have a very good opportunity to pass prop tax, and that is Clemens von Metternich. Oh wait, what? I got scammed. I forgot about the great Clemens von Metternich scam. I don't know why this happens, but Clemens von Metternich is a scam, and if you try to invite him, he just scams you. Oh, this is one of the characters that has a unique trait, the Glorious Endeavor. He makes his interest group 20% stronger. Okay, interesting. I don't really like the church being strong, so I guess that's good. Oh, he's not actually the leader. We have to grant him leadership. Interesting. Yeah, he's got one of these new traits they added in 1.10. There's also one for Joshua Norton. For my second company slot, I need to build up one more furniture manufacturer here in Pennsylvania so that I can establish the home goods company. Well, I might have expanded construction a little bit too fast. We are getting into a little bit of credit here, which is not ideal since our interest rate is pretty high at the moment, but it'll be fine. Just build up some logging camps and everything will be good. Okay, well, the Mexicans just declared independence, which is not very nice of them. They have Brazil supporting them. I'm going to click Manifest Destiny, and I'm going to return Mexican Colorado because we're going to need that in order to do our annexation shenanigans. And then I'm also going to return California because that way I can just have the state for Joshua Norton, meaning we don't have to annex Mexico too soon and we can just worry about other things. And then the rest we're going to leave because we're going to do our shenanigans to eventually annex Mexico, of course. And so, yeah, just going to mobilize a bunch of conscripts. And this war shouldn't be that hard. It is just going to sort of make us a lot poorer, so it's not ideal, but it is what it is. It's not going to, like, stop us from anything, I don't think. We can now establish home goods. We'll give this an industry charter on lead, and then monopolize all 3 industries. It'll be pretty good. There we are, we're just pretty easily defeating the Mexico-Brazil coalition. You know, they're not that strong, so at the power of 1 trillion conscripts, they will lose. Looks like our budget isn't doing that bad. Oh, actually, we're draining investment pool a lot right now. See, our budget is actually kind of bad. I should lower gov wages, actually. That'll save a little bit of money. Yeah, occupied Mexico City. That's the wrong side of the war goals. Okay, we can't quite enforce yet, but yeah, these are the war goals we're going to be going for. I'm going to pause the colonization of Mexican Colorado at the last second to do some shenanigans. Oh, I lost my interest in the Great Plains. That's stupid that it, like, deactivates interest in this way. And move my interest away from Madras into Great Plains so that I can continue colonizing. Anyway, we can now make peace with Mexico, taking Mexican Colorado and California. We're in an election where the Whigs lost, but they lost by a small enough margin that we can actually put them in government, and it's fairly legitimate, meaning that I can now try to pass public health insurance, which is pretty nice, although the industrialists are not very happy. If you could make the appeasement of the industrialists just a little bit higher, that would be nice. Let's go for an alliance with the UK. Okay, Britain must have researched multilateral alliances to form another alliance. Okay, well, we can do like this. That's decent, right? Nope, the British decline. Okay, well, we can do mutual trade privileges, right? No, they don't actually like trade privileges from me, apparently. I'll give them a power block embassy. That should work. Yeah, okay, that's a little bit nice. Get some trade privileges. No, apparently... What? From ignoring a lobby demand? Bruh. I didn't even realize there's a lobby demand. That's so sad. Yeah, that's That's very unfortunate. I guess we can go for a defensive pact, actually. That'll help bring it up. Okay, yeah, back to -1 now. But unfortunately, we need one more approval. How do I get one more? Beginning a military assistance. I can't really do that. I can ask them for military assistance, actually. Let's ask for... No, we can't ask for an obligation, actually. Let's just ask for mil access. Mil assistance. No, that doesn't work. We have to be the one giving mil assistance, I guess. Britain going for a Honduras protectorate. That's not very nice of them, but there's not too much we can do about that at the moment. Really would like to try to go on to monarchy, but it is very tough, unfortunately. The petite bourgeoisie, which are usually the idea I want to use for this, they're very weak this game. In fact, they seem to be very weak in general in 1.10.3. I'm going to start building up a bigger army in my construction queue, because it is very annoying that Mexico is so wanting independence, just because I have a not large enough army. So I'm just going to build up a bit of a larger army to make Mexico a little bit less desiring of independence, because it is very annoying. I should probably not build up too much in the south, because they might try to declare independence if I do that. Did I just get a mass migration from Bengal? I don't know. I guess not. We got a Swedish mass migration, at least, which is kind of significant. Perhaps they're migrating out of the UK. Nobody's migrating from Sweden. How dare they? Seems like wages in Pennsylvania are rising. I assume that's probably because the state has so few peasants at this point that buildings are probably somewhat competing for labor. Let's look at a different state where labor is less competition. Huh. Buildings are actually seemingly raising their wages at this point. If you look at reinvestment, yeah, it has kind of died. So maybe the wage changes aren't as big as I thought, but they are still quite a bit lower than last patch, I feel like. Passing of public health insurance is not going to plan. This game has not been very good for law passing. Okay, I'm gonna try for colonial exploitation again while we wait for the cooldown on public health insurance to come back up. Yeah, law passes have not been too lucky this game. I finally have a bigger army than Mexico, but I need a much bigger army than Mexico in order to stop them from gaining liberty desire, especially when they're getting 0.3 from the Ottomans and Brazil supporting their independence. The PB wants to join the Whig Party. Okay, I'll let them in. Oh, that makes their government illegitimate. But anyway, I do want to declare a war on Spain. I'm just a little bit scared that the Russians are going to join, and then that's going to make them hate me. But hopefully that won't happen, you know? Surely the Russians will not support Mexico's independence. Surely. I'm going to try to improve relations with the Ottomans to get them to stop supporting the independence as well as Brazil. So that way, even if they do, it's not terrible. The British only want to join for an obligation. How about once the Russians join, maybe the British will be a little bit more willing to join? That is assuming that the Russians actually join. Okay, they do. But the Brits still don't really want to join that much. I guess giving Britain an obligation isn't that bad, so we'll just do it. Because, yeah, we kind of need Britain in this war. Mobilize some troops. Probably mobilize these conscripts as well, because we need to try to, like, land Asturias or something. This war's going to be a little bit tough, but it should be very winnable, because, yeah, Britain should be stronger than the Russians. They're kind of worried. Oh, they're actually really worried. So yeah, let's try to get them to back down. Lib Navarra. Lib Catalonia. Lib Andalusia. Please back down. Please back down. Please back down. Okay, well at least they added some war goals against the UK. That should basically guarantee that we don't lose this war. Okay, I actually have a huge convoy deficit, so I'm just going to demob this army, because, yeah, we don't have convoys for it anyway. Looks like we're pushing through Spain pretty easily. Their front is now plus 75, so yeah. I got steel frame buildings. Okay, that's nice. What texture want to go next? Maybe mechanized workshops, shift work, or no, not shift work. Maybe nitroglycerin. No, let's just do mechanized workshops, and then I think I start heading towards like human rights or something. Civilizing mission and human rights. Yeah, civilizing mission is why it's pretty important to conquer all the unrecognized countries for cheaper. Hey, Britain doesn't want to make peace unless we do full liberates. Okay. Okay, now we can actually make peace. Very good. Yep, now we get our Asturias, which I'm going to start incorporating so that we can establish Duro y Campania. Once the Mexicans cancel this treaty with the Ottomans, which I'm pretty sure they'll do in 3 months when the binding period's up, Mexico's liberty desire should finally start going down. Oh, I forgot about alliances and defensive pacts reducing liberty desire. I should really use that more. Yeah. As far as my defense pact with the UK is only 0.05. I guess maybe defensive pacts are less good than alliances. Wow, the pro slavery movement is really mad that I put too many barracks in the north. They're getting plus 36% activism from that? Wow. Okay. Well, this agitator is going to be going in prison because, yeah, we cannot be allowing that. Unfortunately, the movement is still over 75% clout, or over 75% activism. That is quite surprising. I should swap up some stuff over to steel frame buildings slowly. Looks like we're missing explosives and glass. Okay. Well, we can probably build more of that stuff, and it shouldn't be too bad. We're running very low on peasants in Pennsylvania, but we are getting decent immigration from a bunch of places into Pennsylvania, so I don't think we'll run out too badly. Mexico is actually gaining so much GDP. I feel like they don't normally get this good of GDP. I guess our investors probably are investing a lot in them. Mexico's GDP is going down now, which is nice, even though they do still have a quite a lot larger, or not quite a lot larger, they have a under 5 times smaller army than us, but we're still getting a pretty nice amount of liberty desire reduction because we own so much of their economy and stuff. Oh, what's this? Austria is trying to annex Hungary, and the UK is supporting Hungary's independence. I guess since Hungary has a coast, Hungary might actually win this and get their independence. Probably, actually. I don't know. We'll see. Especially with Prussia joining Hungary, actually, it's basically guaranteed that Hungary wins this. In fact, it appears that Austria has just backed down. Colonial exploitation is through. That is very nice. That means we can establish colonies in Africa if we wish. Don't really want to do that yet, but pretty soon probably. I'm going up to colonial affairs level 3 because that'll be nice for more colonial growth. At the moment, we're not generating too much. We could generate a little bit more. I guess I'm going to create an ideological union power block. I really should have done this at the start, but yeah, I really need the minus stall chance, and then I'm going to finally try to go on to monarchy. Um, I'll rival the Ottoman Empire, I guess. Yeah. Form power block. Yeah, okay. It's only like 6 months so you have to have a power block, so it'll be fine. But I'm gonna go monarchy because we really need to get on to sovereign empire at some point. It's been taking us way too long already. Yeah, southern planters are really mad at the moment. This is gonna be kind of hard to pass. I'm getting a lot of migrants from the Greeks, except I expect this to be like the other migrations where it instantly disappears. Yep. I don't know what's going on where mass migrations are like only really lasting a week and then they kind of just stop. But I assume it's just because we don't have enough like open jobs for them to keep on coming like that, or maybe they kill all their radicals or all their radicals move. I mean, um, unfortunately we have a truce with Spain, so we can't side with the revolution here. Could probably have gotten them as a subject if we could side with the revolution. I'm gonna try to get India to pass no migration controls because we are gonna be going multiculturalism somewhat soon. Let's give them like $7,000, or we can give them less actually. Let's give them like 5,000, or no, let's give them 5,500. Please accept. No, you don't. Okay, I'll give you 7,500 then. Fine. Okay, please accept it. Yes, they accepted that. Surely they'll pass surely they'll pass no migration controls so I can steal their pops. Surely. Give me that plus 15 success chance. Yes. Time to conquer Oman. You know, would it be an America game if I didn't conquer oil? Except really this is a war not about oil, it's a war about getting into East Africa. But you know, you can just imagine that this is a war about oil to sound more American. Oops, I accidentally finished colonizing Colorado, so I guess I have to pick a different state as the state I'm not going to finish colonizing. It's probably going to be like South Dakota or something. Yeah, that's a bit of a mistake. The reason we don't want to complete this journal entry is if we do, then we'll get an event to annex Indian territory, and instead what we want to do is subjugate like most of the Americas and then feed them all to Indian territory, and then we'll get an insta-annex Indian territory for free. It's very nice. Starting a landing on Oman with an 11 stack and an 11 fleet. They shouldn't be able to defend this with their irregulars. We get this influencing Hawaii thing. I guess I'm gonna invest in Hawaii. We'll see what this does. It gives us negative 10% influence for 20 years, but surely it'll give me Hawaii as a subject. Surely, surely. The Whig Party finally won an election, so now they're quite a bit stronger, which will help us with passing monarchy. Unfortunately, Catalonia does not want us to support them in exchange for becoming our protectorate. What in the world is France doing? They're trying to transfer Sierra Leone and conquer the West Indies from the UK? That does not seem very smart, in my opinion. Hmm. What should we... Join for. I think we should join for something, right? And so there's no states they're willing to give up to us. There's no subjects they're willing to give up to us. Although they are kind of close to wanting to give us a subject. If I increase my conscript count, I might be able to get something like Nejd, but that wouldn't be very large. Anything at all significant that we can maybe get, like Lower Canada or Upper Canada? No. Hmm. I guess I'll just go for an obligation then. I think they have an obligation on us, so they should just cancel the obligation. Oh, France actually adds a war goal against me? Wow. I'm definitely going to build up the Statue of Liberty. That'll be nice for the 25% migration attraction. That'll help out a lot, especially with getting to #1 migration attraction, as USA is no longer super easy. Like, we're 47 mass migration attraction. Peru is 40. South Africa is 44. Norway is 40. Like, we're not that far ahead of anyone, really. Oh, the Heavenly Kingdom took over China? We love to see that. I'm gonna go colonize in Africa, because I just paused my colonies in here so I don't complete the thing. Or actually, I guess we don't have any great places to colonize yet. We're about to annex Oman, and then we'll have good places to colonize. Okay, there we go. Now, oh, I don't have an interest in Zand, but one is now appearing, I guess. So once that interest actually appears, we can just start colonizing over here. Come on, interest. You know you need to appear. Surely. Come on. Why is my interest not appearing? Please. Okay, there we go. Start colonizing in all of these places. Very nice. Well, I am not going to have California incorporated by 1860, but I checked the code and we just need to incorporate it by 1880 in order to have Norton spawn, so we should be fine. I think after we get monarchy, I'm probably going to start banning slavery and then we'll go multiculturalism, because this pro-slavery movement just being constantly agitating for a civil war is kind of annoying. I should really start swapping out more to steel frame buildings. That'll probably be worth doing. Yeah, it looks like we aren't running into too many shortages. Now we're running into shortages again, but it's fine. We can just build up more stuff and the shortage will go away eventually. Brazil joined the British Empire. Improving with the Ottomans is useless because we have a rivalry with them both ways. Monarchy is sort of going through very slowly. We're on voting at this point. So we'll finally be Kurosava Empire like 20 years in the game. Oh, I passed monarchy. Very nice. Okay, we can recreate our block as a sovereign empire. The USA, Union of Americas, Asia, Africa, and Australia, of course. Of course, we can't fit that all. Unfortunately, I can't think of a name that's short enough in here. So, we'll say United States of the Americas, even though it's actually of the world, basically. And then, of course, we're gonna go the vassalization principle. It's kind of funny that, you can describe like 5 of the continents of the world with A. The Americas, Africa, Asia, Australia. Unfortunately, darn Europe stopping us from naming everyone. Oh, and Antarctica, I guess, but Antarctica is not on the map. Map of infamy, I guess I'll just conquer Mombasa. Doesn't matter too much, just doing something real quick. I think we need to start getting all these people in South America into the block. Yeah, I'll probably just start signing a bunch of treaties with them. Something like this. Looks pretty good. See how much leverage we get from something like that. Oh, they actually declined that. Okay, sure, I guess I'll give you military assistance. No, that's not good enough, actually. Okay, I'll owe you an obligation. That should be enough to get you to accept. And then surely, once you accept this, we will be able to get you in the block. Let's see. Oh, you're actually in the French block right now, but looks like you're actually almost getting enough leverage to join my block anyway. Okay, well that's good. And yeah, just gonna try to get a bunch of people into my block, because more members of the block means more mandate progress, and it means we can eventually subjugate them. So, all of you South Americans, you're all gonna get some great little treaties. Something like that. Very, very nice. The hub name State District of Columbia, of course. That's my favorite place on Earth. Definitely. Yeah, all these South American countries, they're all gonna get some great treaties. Well, let's get Argentina for an obligation, I guess. Very nice. And now we'll start turning towards pretty good amounts of leverage on all these guys. I guess I'll conquer Lorenzo Marx. Just wanna get another place I can maybe colonize from. Can I get mill access from Portugal? That would be nice. I don't quite have a border with them yet. I'm gonna start mapping the American Western frontier, because We want to steal Oregon, Southern Columbia, and Idaho from the Canadians. I guess it's time to start banning slavery, because I do want to get Afro-American primary culture. How long do we have left on incorporation in California? 6 years. Surely this will be good enough. I think this is one of the highest success chances on a law I've had in a long time. Plus 87% without any, like, advances or whatever. That's kind of crazy. Okay, the Civil War is about to begin. With the help of America, or with the help of not America, with the help of Britain, the Civil War should not be too difficult. Oh, experienced offensive planner, that'll be very nice. Yeah, I'm gonna go on the front, raise some conscripts. This war really shouldn't be that hard, probably. Build up a little bit of stuff. Once this war is over, we can finally start building in the south, kind of, without having to worry about that. Also, we might better keep Dixie this game, because it finally actually shows you what states you're fulfilling the requirements on and which ones you're failing. Before, you just kind of had to guess, or like manually look for a really long time, which is kind of annoying, but now you can actually check, which is very nice. Calling in the British Empire should make this war pretty easy, although we are losing quite a bit of money in this war, because a lot of our construction is in the north, or almost all of it's actually in the north. So the fact that we have to still use all of our construction, but we're having significantly smaller economy means that we lose quite a significant amount of money. Southern Declaration of Secession, the Emancipation Proclamation, very nice. You want to go for prop tech? Or no, we want to go for public health insurance next, I think. That'll be nice. Kind of weird how civil wars work, where if you occupy, or how secessions work, where if you occupy one state, you can enforce on the secession. I was saying that because I thought we were about to occupy Texas, but unfortunately we just started panic retreating after we were winning the battle. Yeah, that's not great. Very unfortunate that we started panic retreating when we were winning that battle. The Civil War is not going the greatest for us at the moment. And that is, of course, because the Confederate AI goes into a ton of debt to fight you in this Civil War. Like, they're already in 41 capitulation desire worth of debt, which is just insane. Wait for nightfall. A new quest? Please, game. Yes, peaceful intentions. My minor progress, and we got the Great Salt Lake. Unfortunate. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for the good one. I can't map the Western Frontier because I'm at war right now, I guess. Bro, I'm not losing to the Confederates. This is not happening. There's no way. This is insane. I'm losing to the Confederates. No. I cannot allow this to happen. I am not going to let this happen. This is ridiculous. No, this is not happening. I don't believe it. It's not gonna happen. Surely not. Okay, let's split off like 3 troops to go do a naval invasion, because yeah, I don't know. It's not looking great for us at the moment. Surely we'll be fine. I distracted quite a few of their troops going to that naval invasion, so I think I should be able to take over a state now and then win. Just a matter of time. Come on. We just need to take over Texas, and then we win the Civil War. Please. Yes, we got Texas. Okay, we win. Very good. Okay, we love to see it. Reconstructing the nation. You've got 12 years to reconstruct the secessionist states, get equality for all, and the wild, wild west. Alright. Well, obviously we want to start incorporating the South again. Interesting that Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, and West Virginia started out incorporated. I guess that's because they historically didn't join the Civil War on the Confederate side. Or I think Tennessee did, though. I don't know why Tennessee starts incorporated. Very weird. Oh, I guess it's because it's a Yankee homeland, actually. Oh, I got the Oregon Treaty. I didn't map the thing. I guess maybe Columbia District did or something. I don't know, but that's kind of nice. And start incorporating Washington and Oregon and colonizing Idaho. My ruler just died from an event. Now we have Thomas Goodwin as ruler. He's apparently a child. Okay. That's not great, but it doesn't matter that much. I'm just clicking these random events and deciding whether to give the Dixies loyalists or not. I guess I'll click the Dixie loyalists for most of them. I think it's good. What in the world is happening here? Native raids? How dare you natively raid me? 25% radicals in California? I guess I'm gonna click this option. I don't know. Doesn't seem to matter that much. Take a look at readmit the secessionist states. We can see it looks like none of the states have the Dixie loyalists yet. Dixie upper strata pops is so small compared to Afro-Americans, I would think, so this seems like a pretty obvious choice for the Afro-Americans in these ones. I guess I'm going to start inviting some more countries to my power block. Bolivia doesn't quite have a 100% chance of accepting. Let's just ask them via this, because this way we won't have penalties if they decline. Okay, yep. Very good. Just got military access through Portugal, so I should be able to invade this. Or it's actually too far away. That's a bit of a problem. I can't actually land invade it because it's too far away. Unfortunate. Gotta kill We2 here so we can finish up our borders over here in East Africa because it's a little bit ugly having them there. Argentina and Venezuela can become our newest power block members, helping increase our mandate progress gain. Hmm. Kinda wanna try to go on to something here. What law pass can we really do? Looks like going parliamentary republic is kind of tough right now. I think I'm gonna try secret police. Also, I need our budget to be better. It's so bad. Oh, we have 1 billion troops mobilized. That would explain why our budget is so bad at the moment. Yeah, let's demob. Okay, that is, yeah, that's gonna save us a lot of money. Hopefully we can go back to actually having a country now that has a working economy. Yeah. I'm sort of stalemating at around 100 leverage on New Granada, so I'm going to try to get a little bit more leverage on them with an alliance and defensive, or alliance and military assistance. Yeah, that brings us over 200, so we can hopefully get these guys out of the French bloc and into ours. I'm going to reduce autonomy on Mexico, and then I'm going to start conquering some of these Central American countries because they, usually a little bit tough to get in the bloc and stuff, so we might as well just conquer them. Actually, Guatemala is not a terrible state. A lot of these places are pretty terrible states. Guatemala's kind of the best one. It's got a decent amount of iron and stuff, which is pretty nice. Is there a big flood happening right now? Yeah, there's a huge flood. I'm gonna try to buy Alaska, I guess. It does cost like 3 million, which is kind of expensive, but you know, a failed purchase of Alaska. How dare they? How dare they decline to sell Alaska to me? I guess that actually means I can just colonize Alaska. That's kind of funny because I get a claim on it, which means that I can colonize it. This is the first time I've ever seen AI Durrani Empire. Wow. How does it have enough states? That doesn't feel like it should be enough states. Huh. It's kind of crazy. I got my first mandate. I think I'm going to go for freedom of movement as my first mandate when I try to get some migration going. Although I guess we don't have multiculturalism quite yet. We should be getting multiculturalism pretty soon. 1% success versus 98% stall. Be like, this is truly the average multiculturalism pass. Getting 20% Dixie loyalists in this is really hard, especially since you have to get it to every single state. I don't know how you would consistently do this, except maybe if you like release the South, you can just like stop it. I don't know. The radical movement is apparently starting a civil war again, but it should be ending soon enough. I think I want to try to go prop tax. We really need the labor movement to get mad again. Oh, it is trending towards 25% support, or 25 activism. Okay, let's go prop tax. Then, that'll be nice. An extra 50k income is pretty huge. Yeah, that's actually really big. Up to steel frame on everything. Oh, I can make an offer for Alaska again. Surely the Russians will accept this time. Oh, they actually did accept this time. Okay, that's good. Nice. We get Alaska as our territory. Alaska's not as trash as it was before now that it has 60 logging camps. Also has a little bit of gold, I guess, but that's not that much. Yes, I mean, actually it almost pays for the payments when you count for the time value of money. I guess I'm gonna try to get, I'm gonna try to invite New Granada into the block. It's only a 67% chance they accept, but okay, they do. Very nice. Can I start subjugating people yet? 2 years, 3 years, so we still gotta wait a while till we can subjugate people. Another 2 years. I do feel like the new migration changes make it much more viable to build up in a ton of states instead of just building up in one tall state, which is kind of, I guess, a nice change, but something that I'm not so used to yet. The Indians failed to pass no migration controls. Dang, they were passing it, and they had a like 30% success chance, but that's very unfortunate that they failed, because Indian migrations are always the best ones. Well, that is except for Han, but Han is very rare compared to Indians because there's so many more Indian cultures. Although Han actually has enough turmoil that they might migrate to us. Crop tax is through. Very, very nice. Probably worth building up a bunch more construction now. It's unfortunate that we are running out of peasants, I feel like. Yeah, we have only 2 million peasants. Might be good to start going like women's suffrage or something. Yeah, actually I'm gonna pick up feminism real quick so we can maybe go women's suffrage while we still have a voting law, because eventually I want to go technocracy if possible, although that actually may be a little bit tough. I don't know how we're going to go technocracy, but we'll find a way, I'm sure. Freedom of movement too. This should make me quite a bit, by a lot, the #1 mass migration attraction in the world. Yeah, we're at 98 mass migration attraction. Everyone else is at like 60 or so. I guess people in our block are the only other ones at like 60. If you look at, I guess we should look at this in the ledger so we can actually sort by mass migration attraction. Yeah, we're #1. New Granada and Chile are #2 and 3, and Sweden and stuff are below that. So hopefully we can get some more mass migrations now that we are clearly the #1 migration attraction country in the world. Oh, and it gives plus 25% migration attraction to our eastern or to our western states. That's nice. Oh yeah, we finished incorporating California. I think that's what triggered this. That is very nice because that will mean that pretty soon we should get what's their name? Joshua Norton as leader. We can get the industrialists in our government. That's gonna break the Republican Party apart, isn't it? Um, okay, well that was a little bit strange what that did, but I'll take 100 legitimacy. So yeah, that was a nice little scam that we pulled on the intelligentsia there. Hmm. Yeah, we really need to get that enlightened royalist going. Oh, I should probably have an agitator slot open. I feel like you need an agitator slot for historical agitators. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you need one for Charles Dickens, so probably need one for Joshua Norton as well. Nice, we get a world to win. This will give us regulatory bodies. This is a decent increase in pop growth because you do experience some mortality from dangerous working conditions on all your light and heavy industry buildings. I should put an interest. Okay, I do have an interest in the Nile. Okay. I guess I just haven't reached the Equatoria region to colonize yet. Slowly colonizing all this stuff. Very nice. I feel like pressing these 20% Dixie Loyalist events is barely giving any loyalists, which is very weird. Oh, we got Hugh who would be king. Very nice. Let him proclaim. It keeps the people laughing. Of course. Very nice. Now, this guy gets his special modifier, the Spirit of San Francisco. But more importantly, okay, he's not actually pressuring yet. But pretty soon, the reaction movement will probably pressure the petite bourgeoisie, and then we can get this guy as leader of our country. Oh, there's already 3 movements pressuring the PB, so we need to get some more authority. Let's cancel our consumption tax on coffee and the greener grass and all the decrees on Pennsylvania, actually. Then I will bolster the reaction movement and suppress the radical movement. So we get the PB pressured by the reactionaries. We love it when the reactionaries help us pass multiculturalism. Truly based. Okay, this is maybe a little bit too much construction. I don't know. I don't remember building quite this much construction. Yeah, it was a little overkill, clearly. Yeah, we need like less. Probably 1.3 thousand is more reasonable. Yeah, 200k deficit is much more sustainable. Oh, the Indians are actually pretty close to passing no migration controls. Also, we can grant leadership to Joshua Norton now and start passing multiculturalism. We're about to get a power block mandate. Maybe we should go what's it called? Um create a legislature. Oh, we have so much stall chance. Oh, that's actually a really bad stall chance. I'm gonna stop bolstering and suppressing like this, and instead I'm going to suppress the liberal and archducal American supremacist movements. And that should hopefully help with this a little bit, but that end of discussion factor is not great. Oh, but pretty soon we're gonna have an election where the intelligentsia are gonna lose like all their votes, so that should be pretty good for us in terms of getting the stall chance down a little bit. I can start subjugating people in the block, but yeah, I just ran out of infamy. Um, hmm. I don't know what to conquer. I guess I can keep conquering over here in Africa for now. Yeah, I guess that's what I'll keep on doing for now. Okay, I'm gonna go companies 3. That'll be pretty nice. Or I'm gonna pick up companies 1 and then eventually get up to companies 3. Surely we get multiculturalism here. That'll be very nice. No migration controls did get passed by India, meaning that we're probably gonna get a lot of mass migrations pretty soon. It'll be very nice. Getting 20% loyalists on all the Dixies seems like it's basically impossible. This should probably be a little bit easier. What would be interesting is whichever one of these you complete first makes the other one harder. So like if you don't complete this, it's easier to get the Dixie loyalists. Like they only require 5% or something, because it's kind of insanely hard to get to 20% Dixie loyalists. Just remember to start leveling my healthcare past level 1. This is truly a classic Connor mistake to not level up healthcare past level 1. Cruel? We're fine with... Joshua Norton isn't our ruler, right? So yeah, I think we're fine with him getting cruel. Sure, doesn't matter too much. The PP are so powerful. Come on, let me pass my multiculturalism, please. And there's multiculturalism. It only took like 50% successes to finally get that final success. But it's better than infinite, right? So we'll take it, I guess. Is the Dixie Loyalists actually broken? Okay, let's look at this. Mississippi. So Mississippi is currently at 0.6%. And oh, there's a lot of radicals in Mississippi, so I guess we can take a look at if the radicals go away. Currently, they're one of the most red states. If you look at after the 20% Dixie loyalists, are they still super red? Not really. So maybe it does have an effect. I guess maybe it's only triggering on states that are super radical to begin with. I don't know. Like that only increased the loyalist fraction to 1%. So clearly, like almost every single pop was above 20% radicalism. Wow. Um. Really don't like that I'm already back at 0 infamy. Should put an interest in North Africa. Going for Tripolitania is pretty nice. Yeah, I'm already back at 0 infamy. Pretty unfortunate. Can you go for Persia as a protectorate? No, they don't really want to be my protectorate. How about you, Kabul? Nope. Okay, I guess I'll just keep conquering some countries over here for now. Don't really know what I want to do. Now that I have multiculturalism, hopefully we'll start receiving some really big mass migrations. So Lombardy and North Italian mass migration is pretty big. Oh, what just happened? Why is every state in my country like red? Okay, the mass migration is so like random, but we just got a mass migration from India. Yeah, we got a ton of mass migrations on that tick, and one of them was from an Indian pop. Let's see, which one is it? This one. Here it is, East India Pathan. I don't think Pathan is a very large culture. Yeah, it's pretty small, actually. There's like barely any Pathans, right? Let's take a look. Where are Pathans? Yeah, they're actually just like an aggro, so that's barely any pops that can potentially migrate to us, unfortunately. My country is actually flooded with mass migrations right now. Unfortunately, most of them are fairly small. It's very weird how migration feels like much more random. Like every Monday tick we get a new migration thing. Very weird. You got a mass migration of Zhuang from China, or from Heavenly Kingdom. I think Zhuang is not a tiny culture, but it's not like huge. Yeah, it's only like 5 million people. Marathi from Dominion of India is pretty big. That'll be able to go into Pennsylvania as well, potentially. Yeah, that's pretty big. Okay, maybe migration isn't as weak as I thought then. I actually don't know if I've seen this many mass migrations on the US before. This is a lot of mass migrations at once that we are receiving. Lombardian North Italian, Chochenese Malayalam, East India Telugu, Rajput, Gujarati, Marathi, Marathi, Occitan. Unfortunately, we're actually not getting many pops from them at the moment, but it seems to really vary by Monday. Yeah, like now we're getting 3 million. Germany is doing pretty good. They're actually almost as high of a GDP as me, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, that's pretty good. Although actually they have a ton of foreign ownership. Britain's building a ton in Germany apparently. I guess I'll go for a protectorate on Persia. That'll like get us closer to Baku, and it's just a pretty nice protectorate to have because it's got a lot of oil and stuff in its territory. You know, can script up a little bit for this war. GDP is growing a little bit. Doing pretty good. I'm the #1 GDP in the world now, I guess. But Germany is really not far behind. I'm gonna start going for women's suffrage. I guess having this enlightened royalist does mean that that'll not be that hard to pass. Also, I guess we get the negative 20% loan interest rate from that, which is pretty nice for lowering our interest by almost half. Oh, and the trade unions also get really happy, which is nice for getting that plus 5% workforce ratio and stuff. Yeah, just overall pretty good to pass women's suffrage here. I think like mid 1860s is probably a pretty good time to pass it as well, because it'll give us a lot of time to have our workforce ratio adjust. After this, we'll have to find a way to get onto technocracy. It's going to be a really hard law to pass. And I'm going to go machine steel tools here. We're going to start running a rubber shortage, but that'll mean I can start building up some rubber plantations over here in Africa. And yeah, we'll see. I guess I didn't have any real rubber stockpiled in our construction for this swap up, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we can import some from some countries, I guess, to hopefully run us over the shortage. Yeah, because penalty's a little bit bad, but as rubber plantations get in, it should make our economy a little bit better. Oh, there's a civil war going on in Persia, and my army's just sitting here. That's not exactly what it should be doing. This 326 stack should probably be demobilized, and the 61 stack should probably go on the front. Well, the nation has been reconstructed, meaning we lose Dixie as a primary culture, but we gain Afro-American, which is a very nice primary culture to gain, because that means that I can start incorporating Africa in just 10 years. If only it was 5 years like before, that would be nice. But or I guess now it's 9 years, because you have the plus 10% incorporation speed. Finally, I finished populating the American West. We get plus 25 prestige. Truly the greatest of modifiers ever. It certainly is a modifier that exists. I can get plus 50% colony growth speed on Alaska. Okay, I guess I'll start a colony there. I don't know if that modifier will actually work. Apparently it does. Okay. That's nice. We're colonizing one tile every 7 days in Alaska. The Manchus have taken over Iowa and Nebraska. The Spanish are in Montana. Decani in Wisconsin. Oh, the Han are taking over Rhode Island. Yeah, this is a classic multiculturalism moment. Finally getting some good migration. It's so weird how random ticks you just get like 2 million pops a year, but then other ticks you're getting like 0. I don't know, but it's pretty good. Looks like our pop graph is very vertical at the moment, so, I like to see that. It is time for the great annexation. All these guys are our subjects now, so that means that they do not get to have rights anymore. New Granada reduced to a puppet. Peru reduced to a puppet. And now Venezuela, you can have Guarive, you can have Peruvian Pastaza, you can have Cajamarca, you can have Cauca, and now you're a puppet too. Now Bolivia, you can have Ica, and we're just going to keep on doing this until all of these guys are puppets. Okay, I'm going to start colonizing Nebraska before I do the rest of this, so we can trigger the Frontier Wars. Okay, now we have our Frontier Wars journal, so I'm now going to grant the whole universe to the Indian Territory, pretty much. Everything is now a part of the Indian Territory. Yeah, well, there's some states I can't give because Argentina is still colonizing them, but this is the max I can give to these guys, so yeah, we're gonna take it. This was our destiny! A great united sovereign archduchy expands just a little bit. I accidentally granted them Arkansas, but other than that, pretty nice. We're gonna get Mexican cession as well, so all this territory, like Nevada and stuff, will be incorporated in 2 years, which will be very nice. Yeah, there's the Mexican cession. This was our destiny. Now all this is actually under 2-year incorporation. Oh, I guess these states are 5-year incorporation because of Dixie being the homeland it generates instead of whatever. You get the Opium Trade Journal entry, apparently. Taming the Amazon, because we own this state of Amazon, and I guess this as well. Venice became an independent country. Interesting. I guess I have seen Lombardy giving me migrations for a while, but interesting to see Venice and Lombardy at the same time. Gonna keep expanding up stuff to construct with. I guess I should build up some machine steel tools. I should build up a ton of glassworks here in Illinois. I should do prioritize glass production because we do need a lot of glass. GDP is looking pretty solid. 6% success on Technocracy is not exactly what I want to be seeing. Definitely want to get Technocracy through pretty soon here. Or maybe not soon, but we do need to get it through eventually. I don't know what the best way to get it through is. Um, if we go like universal suffrage, then it's like a lot easier to pass. But I guess we can go universal suffrage with the trade unions. Yeah, maybe I should go universal. How hard is that to pass? I mean, we have a 43% stall. That's not that bad, I guess. We just need like to get the radical movement on our side. Or it already is on our side. Let's stop suppressing these movements. Bolster the radical movement. And then I guess I'll start going for universal suffrage. Because if we get universal, then the industrialists will support going technocracy. Actually, the industrialists aren't even that strong right now, but the industrialists can become strong, I'm sure. We'll find a way. We can go companies 3 now. Very nice. Finally giving us that next company slot, meaning I can establish Duro y Campagna, which is going to be pretty huge, because that's going to give me a lot more of the industries. Oh, I forgot to actually have the levels made. No. No! I forget if I need 5 coal mines or 5 iron mines. It doesn't matter. I'll just put both in the queue. Yeah, that's a classic Connor mistake right there. Classic. Okay, I got my 5 company levels, so now I should be able to establish Duro y Campagna successfully this time. Productivity? Yeah, there it is. Duro y Campagna. Give that logging camps, and then I guess I need 4 monopolies, which is going to require a pretty good amount of authority. I guess I need to stop bolstering the radical movement in order to get that authority. And then, yeah, monopolize iron mines and logging camps. And that's a huge company. Yeah, that's so many industries. It's going to slowly buy up the country. Currently, it's only at 17 levels, but I assume it's going to be going very quickly. Now it's at 11k profit. It's gonna very slowly grow at the start, but I mean we have 700,000 reinvestment. You can see our reinvestment like tanking as buildings are privatized to the company because company gives slightly less reinvestment to it than us. Um, I guess it's because the company actually isn't reinvesting instantly. It needs to, the dividends need to actually come in before it will do that. 200,000 positive balance already. Yeah, it's growing pretty quickly. Yes, but it only actually has 138 levels right now, and we have like 1,000 potential levels for it to buy, I think. So yeah, it's still got quite a while to go. Wow, there's like 500,000 peasants in Texas, because I guess so many pups got here now from the migrations. I guess we have too many luxury clothes, so I'll put this one on normal clothes production. What do we even really need in our market? Why are groceries so unprofitable? Oh, we have like big wheat shortage. I guess I should swap up all my farms to using soil enriching farming. Maybe I can just build like a bunch of farms here. I don't know how profitable some farms would be. It looks like they're not that profitable, but maybe we can just build up some farms here. Get our grain price to be bit more reasonable. If we get up to like fertilizers and stuff, it'll become significantly better, especially once we get up to compression ignition tractors. Look at how many states are green right now. That's a lot of migrants. Unfortunately, like super varies based on the Monday, but it's looking pretty good so far recently. That was a bad Monday, but overall we're getting pretty good levels of migration. Oh, so many people are leaving the east to come to the west. Where are they going? Going to like Kentucky and stuff? Hmm. The Aboriginals from Australia have come to the Americas. What? Oh, Han mass migration to Montana. The Rocky Mountains are gonna get infinite pops. 1.4 million per year to Montana. Okay, they've decided to not go quite that much. I assume there's probably too many peasants in the state. Yeah, there's 400,000 peasants here. That's a lot. So I can understand why the people don't quite want to migrate there. I still have 10 million peasants to employ up right now. It is kind of hard to get people jobs because all of our demand for like good stuff is kind of low at the moment, which is pretty unfortunate. You know, we need some more demand. Don't really know what the best way to generate more demand is going to be. Although the company that we have here is pretty nice. I think it's finally owning like all the levels. It's at like 1.3 million profits. Meanwhile, oh, actually the tooling company is kind of close. Wow, it's like way less levels. That is surprising how close the tooling company is. Well, how rich are the capitalists here? They're pretty rich because like barely any capitalists are working here for some reason. 84 SOL. Very, very high SOL. The culture map mode of America looks a little bit weird with the new culture map where it like has the stripes. Bulgarian, Arizona, Anglo-Canadian, Wyoming. They took over against the Aboriginals. Wow. Yeah, the culture map mode is, it certainly is something. Crazy migration has decreased my literacy rate by like 10% because, yeah, Africa hasn't even incorporated. This is all just from migration reducing literacy. You can see pop going up at around the same time that literacy starts going down. I guess I'll go education 3 at least for now because I really don't want to have a literacy quite this low, I think. Yeah, literacy is getting pretty low just due to so much migration. You can see here in the West, our literacy is really low in like Texas and stuff because of that. We're approaching 400 million GDP, which is very nice. Another Dutch mass migration from Belgium to Montana. I'm gonna get this Petit Bourgeoisie Republican because I do want to grant him leadership of the PB so that we can swap on to like a parliamentary republic or something once we get universal suffrage or fail it. We have a very high stall chance, so we're probably gonna fail it. But if we do fail it or we succeed, I'm gonna start trying to go parliamentary republic because I do want to try to get a cautious literary ruler at some point. Because a cautious literary ruler will let us take, or not cautious literary, cautious ruler at some point, so they can take India and Canada in the same war, which will be very nice. Although taking India does mean we can get less mass migrations from them. It'll also mean we can get a lot of direct migration, which becomes better eventually once you get enough infrastructure. We don't have enough yet, but we can usually build up enough infra. GDP per capita in Pennsylvania is getting pretty high. I assume our workforce ratio is getting kind of good because we've got the happy powerful trade unions, or we don't have happy powerful at the moment trade unions, but we had happy powerful trade unions for a while, and we have women's suffrage. What is our workforce ratio? We have like 80 million dependents. Workforce ratio is just over 31%, so it's not amazing, but that's also not terrible. I think we would have started with a 25% workforce ratio because I'm pretty sure US starts on legal guardianship. Brazil is actually looking kind of subjugatable. They're a minor power at the moment. They just got into a civil war. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to subjugate them. Oh, they really don't want to make a treaty with me. Let's just guarantee their independence for now and start improving relations. Probably once we get... Oh, we have kind of decent relations. I don't know why they don't really want to do a treaty with me. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Gotta keep expanding my railways and stuff. Get the economy going. We got a lot of peasants to deal with. Did not expect multiculturalism to actually give me a lot of peasants again. We were like actually running out of peasants before we passed multiculturalism, and now we have a bunch of peasants everywhere again. Okay, well that's unfortunate. Universal suffrage has failed. Okay, time to go for parliamentary republic. It's better than nothing. And we could go corporate state since we're gonna go technocracy, I guess. But while we're on census suffrage, corporate state would be pretty bad. I guess we could try to go like oligarchy or something, and then pass on to technocracy from there. I've heard it's easier from oligarchy, but I don't know which institute would actually help us pass from there. PB? No, I don't know. Passing on to technocracy is pretty tough. I'm gonna start going colonial offices because I want to get that negative infamy generation against unrecognized powers going. That'll help me conquer a lot more. Unfortunately, a lot of my subjects are no longer minor powers, so we're not getting quite as much mandate progress as we were. I'm gonna start investing into a very large university. Yeah, Missouri, you can have a very large university. Like, we've got quite a lot of construction, so we can afford a pretty big uni. Let's do 500. Yeah, that's gonna employ like most of the peasants in this state. But that'll be very nice for getting our tech spread going, because we are still tech spreading in all 3 categories, so we might as well get some more tech going. We love this definitely very working assimilation system where it says that they're assimilating to Dixie as it's the most accepted culture that they share a heritage trait with. The Min definitely share a heritage trait with the Dixies, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure that's true, yep. Yep, that makes sense to me. Yeah, we're getting quite a lot of assimilation, I think. Rhode Island was Han for a second, but it is converted back to Yankee. So we'll see what happens long term. But I think long term, everything's going to swap back to pretty much normal, except maybe Tennessee will flip to Yankee. I don't know if the Dixies are going to assimilate into Yankee. It looks like they're not. I guess they're still at 100 acceptance, even though they're not a primary culture. Yeah, they're at 100. Actually, I guess Dixies are more accepted than Yankees. They get plus 110 acceptance. Just got Bengali mass migration into Illinois. That is a pretty huge mass migration. Well, we only got one tick of it being huge. Probably will get a bit bigger again, but we got one really big tick of it. Yeah, it looks like in a state, even when there's Yankees, if there's Dixies, they want to assimilate to Dixie instead, because Tennessee does have quite a few Yankees, but they just decide to assimilate to Dixie because it has 110 acceptance. This deficit is actually like way too big. Can I like raise taxes? Yeah, we can raise taxes. Probably need to do that because we are just losing a little bit too much money. Yeah, 1.4 million is like a little bit bad. We can probably run into this, but it's just like a little bit risky. Yeah, it'll probably be fine. What's our grant leadership cooldown? 26 months? Okay, well, once that 26 months is up, it's probably time to invade the UK for the Dominion of India and Canada. Although that does mean we stop getting mass migrations. I guess we can grant India their own market to stop that. The Royalist movement almost started a civil war? Oh, it actually, like, almost started a civil war. Okay, I did not realize it was that close. Okay, let's just quickly pass monarchy to make the Royalist movement go away for a little bit. My peasant quantity is actually just continuously going up, even though I'm not really conquering that many places with peasants. We're actually just getting peasants from pop growth, which is very nice. Oh yeah, malaria prevention lets me get health system 4, which will be nice for pop growth. My pop growth's kind of low at the moment, especially because we have a lot of pollution in states like Pennsylvania. Getting up this next healthcare level will help reduce pollution quite a lot. Me and the British value Yorkshire as double the value of British Guyana. This is truly logical evaluation by the AI. Next company I'm going to pick up is munitions. This will give me sulfur and explosives, which is a decent spread. We're actually like out of authority. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Okay. Um, yeah, I guess we can't do it yet. We need to find a source of more authority. For now, I guess I can just privatize the explosive mills, but that is unfortunate that we just don't have enough authority. Going technocracy will give us a little bit more. Censorship would give me more. I don't know. It's really tough to find sources of authority. Hmm. Okay, I think I have like a little bit too much construction to afford, unfortunately. I mean, I really tried to build into it, but I think we just can't, especially if we're fighting a war with the UK. Yeah, I'm gonna have to delete some of this. Okay, let's go down to like 5,000 construction, I guess. That should be enough that we can easily afford, even at war with the UK. Yeah, that's pretty affordable. All right. Wow, there's a lot of Han people in Missouri. I guess the great 500 stack of universities has made everyone move to Missouri, except not really, but it's got quite a few people in it. Actually, that's a lot of people. That's like more than Illinois, which is a pretty big state. I was hoping to ally Germany to help me in this war against Britain that we're gonna be fighting soon. Unfortunately, Great Britain and Germany are allies, which is, yeah, not ideal. Who would be our best choice of an ally? We could maybe ally the Heavenly Kingdom. Uh, there's not really amazing options. Yeah, there's no one that great. I guess we'll pretty much have to do it on our own. Probably I'll call in the Heavenly Kingdom as a distraction slash second front, but it's not gonna be like a huge help out, really. Do I need to delete even more construction? We should be able to run this. It's like less than 0.1% of our GDP, which usually is runnable. Um, hmm. Yeah, it's not looking the greatest in terms of the percentage of our GDP that's that we're in credit. But it should be fine, I think. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Just don't really want to declare a war during this, but I guess we can always delete more construction if necessary. Although, I like having such a high GDP, and if I delete construction, I'll get less GDP. We're still getting more and more peasants as time goes on. Okay, this is going to be the cautious character I use. Let's bring the rural folk into government. Then let's grant leadership to you. You are the cautious. Oh, you also have expensive taste. That's not ideal, but it is what it is. And then we'll bring the industrialists in government as well, and that way we get our cautious ruler, which is very nice. Now, I guess I have to declare for like humiliation or something. Yeah, I guess I gotta declare humiliation on Canada, and then I will add in as wargals, transfer Canada, and transfer Dominion of India. The Great War. Alright. All Lancer conscripts can be replaced by shrapnel conscripts now. Yeah, this war is going to be pretty tough, but once we win it, we're going to truly be the #1 great power, finally. Okay, we don't actually want 400. We want like 340 or something. And we can get like 400 shrapnel conscripts. And this will be pretty much our army for Canada. Yeah, something like, oh, we can't quite get as, oh, I guess we have actually a lot of mobile artillery in this army. And then we can promote all these generals to max. And this is going to be our Canada Front army, because, yeah, Canada Front, we're going to need quite a few troops for. In fact, actually, you might need a second army for the Canada Front. Yeah, I'm going to go for a second army for the Canada Front, I think. Gonna want another, like, 300 skirmish conscripts, and then 300 shrapnel conscripts, and yeah, that should be enough to hopefully win the war. Oh, these Lancer conscripts need to go and get replaced by shrapnel or skirmish conscripts, I mean. That should be pretty nice. Next, I'm gonna make another army. This one's gonna be probably used to invade India, because, yeah, we do need to invade India. Or the British Isles, I guess, but we don't really have a navy, so we gotta do this by land. Oh yeah, I forgot to ally Heavenly Kingdom, so I guess we're not getting them in the war. We're gonna have to go through Persia, I guess, or landing. Yeah, Germany and the UK versus the USA. Luckily, I think we have more GDP than both of them combined, although when you include Dominion of India and stuff, they have more, but we have the power of 2,000 conscripts. The UK is like mostly undefended, so I'm gonna try to naval invade the UK. And then I'm also gonna I'm gonna start preparing another army for the conscripts, because yeah, we're not pushing as far as good on the Canada front as I would have hoped. So getting another like 800 conscripts should be enough to fix that. Yeah, we've got lots of potential conscripts to pick from here. Looks like my naval invasion failed. Don't know why it failed, because there's only 2 British troops there, but I guess they managed to repel my landing. Spanish uprising, aka the Gibraltarian uprising from the UK. Truly the largest of uprisings ever made. Just Gibraltar. Anyway, we've occupied most of the Wargals. Now I guess we should need to occupy India's capital, so maybe I should just change this naval invasion to be naval invading India, really. That would probably be more productive, because actually it looks like they don't really have any troops that could reach India in time, so that might work. Yeah, hopefully that'll work. We're running a pretty big deficit now, because the military is costing a lot. But I can probably demobilize like at least one of these stacks now that we've taken over Eastern Canada. That would probably be somewhat reasonable. Oh, they actually got 65 troops here? I did not expect that. That is surprising. Alright, well, this army can probably try to go into, like, this front, maybe? I don't know. Hopefully Germany will cap out eventually. Yeah, they're getting kind of close to capping out. Once Germany caps out, we should be in a little bit of a better situation. But our budget is not exactly in the greatest of situations at the moment. Up in the air, plus 30 army offense. That's super nice. That should mean we can easily break through India. Yeah, hopefully, because we really need to break through India. The Germans, which are providing like half of the UK's power projection, are about to cap out, which will be very nice for us. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. And the Germans are now out of the war, making this front go up to 89 advantage for us. Okay, that's a big swing. Yeah, the Germans were actually providing like almost everything in every front, actually. Okay, finally, West Bengal is ours. Very nice. With a good old 19 months left on military airships, we defeat the UK. And, okay, they don't quite want to make peace yet, but they'll want to make peace in just a second. Yeah, there we go. Very nice. The Dominion of India is ours, as well as Canada. Now, do I want to grant India their own market? I guess let's just take like a Monday tick and see what migration looks like from India. 0? Really? Okay, we're getting like 10,000 from Carnatic, 10,000 from Mysore, and 7,000 from East India and Central Provinces now. If that keeps up, then I think it might be worth just staying with them in the market. But if we kick them out of the market, then we can get mass migration, so at least they better just get this passive migration. I'm starting to run a positive balance just slightly, so I guess I can start expanding construction a little bit more, which will be kind of nice. Yeah, start expanding construction a little bit more, I guess. Oh, Nama's occupying my colonies over here. Okay, let's go do a naval invasion to fix that. British established British Congo, which is good. That'll mean they can colonize way slower, especially if they didn't get malaria prevention yet. Oh, they did get malaria prevention, but still, I mean, they're going to colonize super slow because they only have 0.23 colonial growth. Oh, I need to select more states to colonize in. Let's do that. Oh, these troops are still conscripted up. Let's demobilize them. Yeah, that's a little overkill. I don't think we need like 1 trillion troops. The French are taking over the west coast of America. Bruh, no way Russia just conquered half of Japan? What? What? That's crazy. Now all of the Japanese people are migrating from Russia to the US. We love to see it. That's crazy. Colonial offices 3. Let's get that negative 25% infamy gen against unrecognized powers, which is very nice. I'm gonna try to get Canada to pass frontier colonization so that they actually colonize Alaska. I'm very confused why there's an Athabasca military revolt. I don't think revolts are supposed to be able to spawn out of decentralized nations. By the way, the reason I have this company slot is I actually don't know what company I want to go. I kind of was planning on doing like food, but food isn't very good. Like now it's aristocrat ownership partially, but maybe it's just fine. Yeah, I think I'd take it anyway, I guess. Just the birth rate's kind of nice. Although our SLL is kind of high, so it might kind of hurt us in that way, but it's fine. We'll just go food company. We need more authority really badly. How am I still behind Britain in prestige? I stole India and Canada, and they're still ahead of me just because they have a big navy. That's crazy. What? They can monopolize a company, they can monopolize a good, and then I can't build in their country? No, that's a scam. That's not a thing you can just do. You can stop your overlord from building something in your country with a monopoly? Yeah, that's one of India's domestic companies. That's very interesting. I was not aware of this feature. Seems like Pennsylvania is going to get... Oh, Pennsylvania actually did get passed by Missouri as the #1 most populous American state. Missouri has a awful GDP per capita that is so bad, while Pennsylvania has a really good GDP per capita. Surprising that people are leaving Pennsylvania. Seems like the AI is undervaluing something about Pennsylvania. I don't know why Missouri has so many people in it. Maybe we just got lucky or mass migrations, I guess. Yeah. The British want Namaqualand from us, and it'll give us 5 infamy if we give it to them. Well, oh, I can't uncolonize it actually. I was gonna try to cancel the colony. I can't cancel a finished colony. Um, well, that's unfortunate, but at least I can like give it to Cape Colony or something. Uh, yeah, let's just give this to Cape Colony so that way Britain doesn't get a thing, but we still get our -5 infamy. Yeah, that's nice. I can invite Brazil to the block. Only 85% chance. What if I do it via like this menu? Renegotiate the treaty, maybe? Add in join power block, please. Please join my power block. I don't get why joint power block thing in that doesn't work sometimes. Very weird, but we'll just owe Brazil an obligation, I guess. Get them into the block. Very nice. I'm really liking the feel of going early women's suffrage. Does give us slightly lower pop growth, but it does feel very nice to just have basically unlimited pops. Insane that we have like 1 million peasants in Illinois. Wow, the sub farm in Illinois is completely full. That's insane. Yeah, I guess I need to build up some more stuff in Illinois because that's crazy. I should swap up to steam trains. That'll give a lot more infrastructure for cheaper, so that'll be pretty nice. And then yeah, I just gotta build up more stuff here because there's so many peasants just waiting to get employed. This is like a 15th of our peasants just in Illinois. Texas has now passed up Missouri as our #1 most populous state. The Dixies are ruling America. Oh, Bengali has taken over Illinois. The country is looking very ethnically diverse. You can see a whole lot of states are random cultures. Dixie is taking over in a bunch of the like Four Corners states here, except for New Mexico. They've all become Dixie, I guess because of assimilation, because I don't think the states normally have many Dixie pops. This is the first time I've seen Hungary as a great power, and they're declaring a cut down to size play on Russia. Wow, Hungary has almost as much GDP as Russia. That's an insane GDP graph. Oh, they got most of their economy owned by Germany, Britain, Brazil, and a bunch of other people. Yeah, they give investment rights to like everyone, I guess. So, yeah, they're trying to cut down Russia to size. This might be a good convenient moment to invade Russia for some territory. I'm going to quickly protectorate Japan because I think we may be able to, get them back their Russian territory via some return CBs or something. I think I might just not be able to go Technocracy this game. Yeah, I really wanted to, but I think it's not going to be really passable. Okay, I really need to figure out better ways to pass Technocracy because I'm like pretty confident we're not going to be able to pass it this game. Kind of just need a positivist movement, and we didn't get one of those this game. This is ridiculous. Look at the how many pops are moving. What in the world is happening? Every Chinese man will move to Texas. So 400,000 pops a week moving to Texas? What? There's no way this actually keeps up. Like, let's see what the next money take's gonna be. There's no way it's 400,000 pops, right? Yeah, okay, it's 18,000 pops, which is a little bit more reasonable. 400,000 pops is just a little bit ridiculous. Instead, we get 72,000 pops from Kyushu. 80% of your pops are gonna leave you in a year? What kind of scam is that? That's ridiculous. I'm gonna liberate Ainu Masir from Russia. And then I'm hoping to be able to call Japan to my side in exchange for return Chubu. Yes, indeed, they want that sway by 300. Okay, that's actually I think like one of the highest war goal sways I've ever seen. I'm gonna take all of our return CBs here. Probably primary these. Yeah, they're only 1.6 infamy, so I'll primary these. And then I'm gonna go for conquer Baku. I actually don't have an interest for that, I guess. And then maybe also do some liberates. Heavenly Kingdom is getting somewhat close to just dropping down to unrecognized regional power without a bankruptcy, which would be very nice, but I don't know how realistic that is. Maybe if we just build up enough navy, we can make that happen. I don't know. The fervor of English primary culture makes India so hard to get loyal now. You kind of just have to grant them states, I think, if you want to get them down in autonomy. It's insane. 0.45 from fervor of English. It's kind of insane. I mean, we would be getting less than this like 0.63 than we're getting right now if we had a bigger army, but like not that much less. This plus 200% migration attraction is actually pretty huge. Do we want New Mexico, Kansas, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota? I guess I'll take California. Yeah, that'll be nice. California is now going to have a slightly insane amount of migration attraction. Yeah, 186.4 is it's pretty good, I'd say. So probably we'll get some migrants here now. Oh wow, taxation in Texas is not working. I need to build some government administrations in Texas real quick. That's a big mistake. Oops. Yeah, I'm just burning a ton of money that I could be getting. Oops. Yeah, I need to build at least one government administration everywhere that has tax capacity issues to avoid that, so that they can actually start auto-expanding. We have 1 million peasants in Iowa. This is truly just the average being the USA in 1.10 moment. You just get random millions of peasants in random states. Well, I guess Russia backed down to that war I had declared on them because Japan has the entirety of their country back. Wait, how did they get Ainu Masir back? I don't know. Maybe they conquered it or something? I was really not paying enough attention to this. Yeah, oops. Well, I guess Japan owns their country now. That's nice. It's very unfortunate the steel mills are just like not able to employ. Oh, I guess they don't have qualifications here. Maybe I should build up some universities to try to get qualifications good in that state. Are qualifications an issue in other states? Should probably take a look at that. Yeah, maybe I should build up more universities. Qualifications are probably worth getting up. Build up like 30 unis that'll help out with qualifications a bit. Everywhere that has a qualifications deficit gets to have a level 30 university. That should help out with qualifications a bunch. Because, yeah, we gotta figure out a way to solve this peasant problem somehow. I'm gonna go for the conquest of Beijing from the Heavenly Kingdom, as well as a humiliation on them. This should be enough to get them down to a unrecognized regional power. Let's also open their market. I think doing all this should be enough to get them down to being unrecognized regional. The Heavenly Kingdom did not back down. I guess I should go for a naval invasion on their capital to end up the war a little bit quicker here. I think this should easily get them down to unrecognized regional power. and then we'll be able to subjugate them in our next war, hopefully. I think the 10 wealth threshold for voting on census suffrage is a little bit overpowered for the rural folk. They have like 40% clout. Yeah, the trade unions actually got marginalized at some point. Which is a little bit crazy. There's a general that's a brigadier general. Let's promote him to max. That might get the trade unions pretty close to demarginalized. Hopefully they can just randomly jump back into being demarginalized, because that would be very nice. Trade union perks are very good, and they can help us pass universal suffrage, which I do want to do. Oh, actually, if we just get this radical in charge of our country, I think we can do it. The radical movement doesn't pressure the rural folk. Oh, it needs a lot more support in order to pressure the rural folk. Maybe we can get another agitator to support the rural, or to support the radical movement. That could be nice. This guy has 40 popularity. That'll help out the radical movement a little bit. Radical movement. You're going to trend towards 13% support now, which is almost going to be enough to pressure the Yemen farmers. We just need like a little bit more. Vassalization 3 will give us enough to bolster the radical movement. All right. And then that way, we can get a radical in charge of our rural folk and then go universal suffrage, which will be pretty nice. And then from there, we can use the industrialists to pass technocracy, maybe. It'll be a really hard pass, but if we go like creative legislature, we can probably get it through. Opening China's market, taking Beijing. They should easily drop to unrecognized regional power from this, which will be very nice for us. We're getting kind of close to passing up the real US population. Well, I guess like 20 million of these pops are over in China, and got quite a few other countries who got pops in, but quite a lot of these pops are in the US. We got some pretty good pops here. Some of these states are having over 10 GDP per capita, but of course, our overall GDP per capita is still sitting at just below 6 at the moment. Can definitely get quite a bit of a larger economy. Well, Texas GDP per capita is not actually doing that well. It's got like 20 million people in it. Very, very populous state. In this game, I'm rushing pharmaceuticals. Usually I would like rush production techs, but I figure there's not really a reason to. Instead, I'm just gonna rush like macro and antibiotics so I can get that extra pop growth and stuff. I don't know. It's worth trying at least one game. Because I think theoretically it should be better for pop growth, but I don't know, maybe the GDP growth from compression for longer is better? I don't know. Railways in Pennsylvania are actually really productive because we need so much transportation demand. I guess I'll put on steel passenger carriages here because we just need so much transportation. The rest of our state's railways are so unprofitable because we have way more supply than demand. But I guess Pennsylvania has Carnegie Steel, which has a lot of demand. Or no, it doesn't have Carnegie Steel. It has furniture. Apparently the furniture company is just giving so much demand for transportation. Yeah. Pretty annoying that these buildings are just not employing up. The building just doesn't want to pay a high enough wage to get the workers. That's pretty annoying. We do have qualifications here, yeah, it's just the building doesn't want to pay, which is kind of annoying. I wonder if minimum wage fixes that, or if that just makes the building not want to pay either. Huh. Oh yeah, we're gonna remember to use our grant leadership here to the radical, and then go universal suffrage. Gotta get that universal suffrage so we can go technocracy. Oh, we're running like an insanely good balance. I need to really expand construction. We're running like plus 1 million. That cannot be allowed. All 50 US states must get all their construction sectors, and then we can expand into Mexico, all of their construction sectors as well. Very nice. Yeah. We're gonna have a lot more construction, but we can definitely afford a lot more construction. Uh-oh, China's getting pretty close to unrecognized major. I really thought that was gonna keep them down, but yeah, it's really not working. Yeah, what? How in the world are they already like almost unrecognized major? Um, I guess they've lost their negative 10% from intelligentsia. Um, that's really unfortunate. Yeah. Didn't expect them to survive that. Like they lost Beijing and stuff. Make it pretty hard to subjugate China. I mean, they are gonna inevitably bankrupt, I think. Like, how much debt are they in right now? They're in quite a lot, I think, right? Yeah, they're in like 38 million. Due to China being Protestant, they've flipped half Sunni, half Protestant. I think the reasoning for this is that only the states that have Protestants can convert to Protestantism, and the rest, since Sunni is a more accepted religion than Confucian, they converted to Sunni. We finally have unlocked automotive industries. Oh yeah, that reminds me that I should stop up healthcare 5. Um, Very nice. Let's take a look at where we have peasants right now. We have peasants in Beijing, Missouri, Oregon. Okay, Oregon, you can have some automotive industries. Also, I should go ahead and build up the company. Yeah, where's the company here? Come on. Ford, you know you're in my company list. I know you're in my company list. Come on, just appear. There you are. Ford Motor Company. Very nice. We have that an industry charter on rubber, and then start privatizing all this stuff. It's very unfortunate that we just like can't we just can't get monopolies really because we have such a lack of authority at the moment. I think that the long-term solution is going to be to annex India um to get their subjects, but to do that we need to reduce their autonomy like now. So I'm just going to quickly grant them some stuff so that we can hopefully get their liberty desire down a bunch. Yeah, Persia's going to become super disloyal from this, but it must be done so that we can get India to colony. Okay, there is Dominion of India reduced to colony. Now I'll give back like all of the core Persian land to Persia so that it gets incorporated because I don't think India would incorporate it. I'm gonna subjugate Brazil. Very nice. Very confusing that I somehow simultaneously have negative 21% trade advantage and plus 7% at the same time. You know, I wouldn't think that would be possible, but apparently it is. I guess this is the one in Oregon, and this is the one in the full country. A little bit weird, because a really bad trade advantage. Couldn't read that the ones with bad trade advantage are even trying to trade. Yep, the Heavenly Kingdom just became a unrecognized major power again. Very unfortunate. Well, I can't get Spain as a subject, but I can get Navarre as a subject, which is better than nothing. So I'll take it. The religious map mode for America is certainly something. I think America might be getting replaced by Hinduism. Is it actually like the number one religion in America? Let's take a look at Pops. No, it's actually third right now. Catholic and Protestant is currently higher. I guess that does make some sense given Mexico and below. Oh, the Anglo-Canadians have grown larger. Now they control Idaho and Oregon as well. This universal suffrage pass has not been going very well. It's just been sitting here for so long. What is going on? I feel like I've just been sitting here for like 3 years passing universal suffrage and we haven't gotten a single success despite the success chance being like 50%. I finally got a success on universal suffrage. Filling up 25,000 construction is really annoying. Well, it's, very good that we get to grow so much GDP, but it is very annoying to have to click so many buildings. It would be very nice if we could queue up like 100 buildings at a time. Tech spreading electric railways is very nice. That means I need to start building up a ton of power plants in Texas, because I would definitely want to make the swap up to using the electric engine PM on my motor industries, because it's so much better than normal motors. Universal suffrage is through. Very nice. Now I want to start going for technocracy, but that is actually going to be a pretty hard pass. Yeah, that's going to be really tough. What's this? Yeah, that's not great. Well, I can stop bolstering the radical movement. That will at least help. Yeah, once that movement gets a little bit weaker, that'll make it a lot easier. But for now, I guess, we're gonna have to declare one war without green leadership, maybe? Yeah, I'm gonna have to declare a war without a cautious leader, I guess. Unless we have a cautious that just happens to be in charge of one of our IGs right now. Which I doubt. Yeah, we don't. So we'll just do this real quick. Let's see how the trade unions do in terms of clout now. Oh, they take a ton of the clout from the Yamen farmers. That's pretty nice. Yeah, the trade unions would actually be our largest interest group now. Or largest in government. Hmm. By tech spreaded electric railways. Alright, it's time to turn it on. Electric engines. Yeah, that's going to require quite a bit of electricity going up. The electricity is going to take a while to employ up, probably. Let's subsidize it. But once it does, that should make the motor industries much better. make our motor prices actually reasonable instead of being 1 trillion%. Automotive prices are still pretty high for now until we get compression ignition. Yeah, we can build up so many automobiles. Very nice. Chilling at like 2.4 billion GDP at the moment. It's kind of crazy that I'm like keeping equal with my last USA run, even though I haven't annexed China or India yet. Like I've got like under half the pops, but I'm just like staying pretty much equal in GDP, which is pretty solid, I'd say. I really thought this update was going to be a nerf to the USA, but seems like it's not really too much of a nerf. Yeah, or at least like 1.9.6 was a bigger buff. I don't know, because my run took place mostly in 1.9.5, and then like the final last little bit was in 1.9.6. I'm gonna quickly conquer Baku from Russia because we need that oil. We need that oil. Um, I declare interest in places to like liberate stuff from Russia. I can declare a West Siberia interest. So we can go for liberate Siberia here. Probably no point in returning that. Liberate country. Ukraine can get liberated. Um, Poland can get liberated. I'll not primary the rest of this so that they maybe back down. Yeah, we want to lib Siberia if possible, so I'll wait for my interest in Siberia to appear and then go for lib Siberia. I assume Russia's researched pan-nationalism by now. Hopefully. Yeah, they have. Okay, pretty nice. I guess I can go for one more. Doesn't really matter too much. I guess Kazakhstan. Having GDP ownership as a vanilla statistic is so nice. It was such a pain trying to figure out how much of a country's GDP they owned before, but now you can just very easily tell that the Ottomans own only half their GDP. Guess Britain's investing in them, right? Nope, Germany's investing in them. Oh, I forgot to get a cautious leader for this. That was a bit of a mistake. I guess I should look for a cautious character to make my leader. Yeah, that should be something we look at. So PB, intelligentsia, trade unions, or industrialists. Ideally industrialists. Ayo? Oh, he has kidney stones, oh, he's 78 and kidney stones, but he's cautious literary? You're kidding me. No. He's gonna like instantly die. There's not even a point in grabbing him. There's no way he lives for more than like 3 years. Actually, unless I have like no other cautious characters, because I'm actually almost done with the list. Well, I had no other options, so I guess this guy's gonna be our cautious and I guess literary guy, but yeah, it's not gonna be that great because he's 78 years old. For now, I'm gonna bring in the industrialist, and I'm gonna start trying to pass technocracy. We'll see how it goes. It's 26% versus 73% stall, which is, yeah, not great, but it certainly is a thing that could potentially pass. Might want to go creative legislature? I don't know. Creative legislature doesn't seem terrible. Like, we swap out freedom of movement or colonial offices, but I kind of want to keep colonial offices in. I don't think we'll lose that much migration if we go off of freedom of movement. We have 140 mass migration attraction, so we'd have like 100. Yeah, we'd still be significantly ahead of everyone else. So probably good to just go like creative legislature. Yeah, we'll just temporarily slot in creative legislature for now. There's so many national awakenings in such a small area here. The Karens are having a national awakening. Of course they are. Of course. The radical movement is pretty mad at me. So, there's a bandit we've got somewhere here, I think. Yeah, that guy, he can get imprisoned for 3 years. And that should help out a little bit, but the movement's still mad, so we're gonna go create a legislature 2, and that should make the movement a little bit less mad in theory. Yes, now it's down to just 84% activism, which is a little bit less bad. Now we have the strike labor negotiations. I guess I'm gonna agree wage subsidies, I think, because, yeah, we don't wanna... I mean, I don't really want to pass it, but it's probably our least bad option. Yeah, I guess I have to go with wage subsidies. Alright. Well, apparently we lose at Victoria 3 now because the trade unions and rural folk are getting 5 billion clout. That's not quite right in my opinion. That's a little bit of clout that they're getting. Okay, I think my only chance is I need to hire a lot of industrialist generals before that goes through. That's insane. 5 billion? That's so much clout. My industrialists only have like 1 billion right now. I got the industrialists to like 40% clout. I'm pretty sure they're still gonna go down to almost zero once this election is over, but yeah, I tried. We're gonna lose. We're gonna go down to only getting like 400 million clout, so we'll have like 1 billion total clout between those two, and then a bunch of percentage modifiers. So maybe they'll be at 20% clout still. They're gonna be pretty weak. No, the radical movement's fine. Yeah, we're fine. Shouldn't be getting any civil wars. Do we get this law tick before the election? Okay, we do. Hopefully this law tick will go pretty well. We got pretty good odds. My evil investment pool is not building. This is the greatest scam ever. How dare it? I'm pretty sure I still have peasants, right? I don't think I ran out of peasants yet. Of course my game is very laggy because I tried to open the railway screen. Yeah, we still have 8 million peasants. What is this scam? This government is no longer legitimate. Okay, that's very unfortunate. I might have to pause construction because we're running a pretty big negative balance here, and the investment pool is just like not working. It's not doing what it needs to be doing, unfortunately. Dang, still illegitimate. Gotta go down to medium taxes. Okay. The Turtle Islander bourgeois revolt wishes to join the United States of the Americas. No. That's that's so strange. I have no idea how this country exists. I'm gonna annex Ethiopia, I guess. It's very unfortunate that right after my war with the Heavenly Kingdom just started to lock in, and now it has 160 million GDP. Gave someone investment rights. Yeah, gave Sweden and Italy investment rights, I guess, and now it's just growing its economy way better. It is still in a lot of debt, but I don't know if it can outgrow the debt. If it can, that's going to be really unfortunate for us. I don't think it should be able to, given that it's on land-based taxation, because that means that the debt is going to just get, your income's going to get lower as you industrialize, except for minting, I guess, but it should still stay roughly the same. I finally got my first success on Technocracy. Very nice. Oh, what in the world happened? Why is my Technocracy now so likely? Um, wait, what? These guys are now marginalized? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, well, I guess they tried to make a new party and that marginalized them. Well, that's great for us, I guess. We love to see it. Yeah, now I can actually go back up to very high taxes, and I'm still running 100 legitimacy, because apparently the Democratic Party won 100% of the votes at the last election, because I guess all other parties have been disbanded. It's very unfortunate that, like, almost none of the automotive industries are actually filling up to full employment, because they just won't raise their wages enough. It's, pretty strange that all the buildings just are not competing for labor, like, at all. It doesn't really make, too much sense. Hopefully, they patch that soon enough. Okay, with a 100% success chance, we're gonna be getting Technocracy now. The power of like 60% clout. Industrialists. Oh, what? What do you mean I have hereditary and appointed bureaucrats? That's very strange. Which one did we actually get? Apparently we got appointed. Very weird that it shows that we got both. But now we have Technocracy, which is pretty nice. We're now the United Scientific Associations. And yeah, that means we get another company slot. Ideally we want to go like Baku Oil as our final company. But okay, we do actually have oil here, so I'll start building up some oil rigs, and then in the like 8 years once this is incorporated, we'll go Baku Oil, I guess. I kind of wanted to go like standard oil, but I think Baku's better than standard. Because we get power as well as instead of railways, so I think that's fine. Like the alternative is the one in Romania, but we can't really get to that very easily, so I think Baku Oil is going to be our best bet. Oh, looks like the Heavenly Kingdom declared bankruptcy. Very nice. That means we'll finally be able to subjugate them. I'm going to replace Creative Legislature again with Freedom of Movement 3, because that'll be very nice for the extra migration attraction and migration quota and stuff. Want to get some more migrants again, if possible. I'm going to give Portugal South Angola in exchange for Portuguese Bombay so that I can build up the Victoria Terminus. I couldn't find a way to do the trade that didn't require giving them a state, so we had to give them a state, but it's really not an important state, so it's pretty fine. Yeah, I got compression ignition, so we can start swapping up the compression ignition PMs. We should have a lot of oil as USA here, I think. So let's go diesel pump on all of our mines, and then of course mass production on the cars. And I think that that should be pretty good. Yeah, now we're running a small little deficit of oil, which is pretty good. I assume oil rigs will be able to employ up more. Some of them can, I think. Yeah, not all. Should definitely try to expand all oil rigs that I can, because that'll help keep our oil price down. Oh, the radical movement is very mad. Yeah, I guess I will like fake pass universal suffrage for a second just to make the radical movement stop being so mad. And I'll probably just recancel it immediately, so they have to go back up to 100 activism. Very unfortunate how mad the radical movement is at the moment. It's got some plus 10% political movement activisms. Yeah, it doesn't really like technocracy very much. I guess it's since I removed creative legislature, which was giving negative 25% political movement activism from law passes. Yeah. The Brazilians are very disloyal, unfortunately. Oh, do I not have a 5 times stronger army than them? Oh, I don't. That would explain partially why they're disloyal. Man, if I could just use my investment pool, I'd be barely running a negative balance right now. I kind of want to try command economy this game if possible, because I do think it has a lot of potential for late game economies now. So it's probably worth giving it a shot. Navarra is the only country that's keeping track with my GDP. I gotta make them a puppet so they can stop keeping on track with my GDP. I must become the #1 GDP per capita in the world. India over here almost has 500 million GDP. Their GDP would be a lot higher, of course, if we hadn't kept their population at like 200 million for like forever, because they just can't grow, or else the pops will simply migrate to the US. Probably try to get them to pass healthcare. That would be nice. Oh, they're already on private healthcare. Yeah, going to public is kind of hard because the industrialists really dislike it. But what they should do for sure is go per capita tax. That should help them out with a lot more money. Yeah, that's going to be a huge amount of more money so they can stop probably bankrupting, right? I would assume they're in a lot of debt right now. They're not in that much debt, but they are in debt. Oh, right, I'm getting a general strike. That is, not good. That's gonna probably destroy the economy, pretty much. Yep, that's, not good. So, I guess we're gonna have to find a solution to that. Specifically, we need to pass wage subsidies now. Except that the trade unions and Yaman farmers are very mad, so they won't really do that for us. Well, maybe if we pass something they like, then we get them in government to help us, they can do it? I don't know, it's a little bit tough. Okay, it's time to go for a protectorate on China. I actually don't know if I want to annex yet, or if I just want to stay tall in like the USA and Africa and stuff to have my GDP per capita still be like, go for like a super high GDP per capita, if I want to annex them and just go for like a very good overall GDP. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. We got a lot of pops over here in the New World at this point. Pretty good. Yeah, pretty much only California, I think, or California and New York are, I guess, the only states that are significantly below their historical populations, I think. I don't know. But we got quite a lot of pops here. Although, of course, it's not just the USA. We have Mexico, Canada, or we don't have Canada included in that. We got Mexico, Bolivia, Peru, New Granada, Chile, and Eastern Africa. Okay, now that we did wealth voting enough that the revolution's over, we can bring in like um yeah, I guess the trade unions, and then start trying to pass wage subsidies, hopefully. Yeah, we can get wage subsidies through, that'll be very nice. Yeah. I guess I should promote all the trade union generals I have now. Because I mean, I did get a ton of trade union admirals while hiring the industrialist admirals, so we can just promote all these guys now, and that should help us out a lot with them being a higher clout to help us pass this law. Yeah. That should be like enough generals, probably. Trade union should be like 20% clout now, I think. Not quite, but they're doing pretty solid. 17%. Surely we can pass wage subsidies. Because, yeah, strike is not very good. There is a Taiping peasant revolt currently going on, which is not exactly ideal. Yeah, that's actually very bad. We need to win against the Taiping before that revolt starts because we need to join the revolt. I mean, we need to join our the Heavenly Kingdom in the revolt. Where's the Heavenly Kingdom's capital? Okay, it's Yunnan. Um, 79 days? That's way too long. Okay, I guess we just need to hire a billion generals and hope that we can push there in time. I don't know that we are going to be able to, but we need to hope that we can push to Yunnan pretty quickly. Very quickly. Turning on motorized reconnaissance is probably something that will help with that. Yeah. So apparently we just cannot push further into China through this front. It's just disappeared. There's no way that the... Does Taiping actually win against the peasant revolt here? Maybe. Maybe they can win. We really need them to win, or else we just lose China here, which would be really annoying. The Opium Wars with Dainam. Truly the greatest of countries to fight the Opium Wars with. I guess Vietnamese is obsessed with opium. Yeah, you get this every once in a while. Very funny. It looks like Tibet might be able to beat the Tibet or Taiping Peasant Revolt. Yes, Tibet is of course the strongest country supporting China. Yeah, hopefully China doesn't fragile unity. I don't think Heavenly Kingdom can fragile unity. But yeah, there's not too much we could do about it if it did happen because we cannot grant them states right now. So yeah, now we just get tons and tons of Chinese immigrants into our country every Monday. Of course, we love to see. The USA is now very green with immigration. Yeah, slowly people are gonna be coming to America. Okay, I do think that the Heavenly Kingdom is beating the revolt despite being bankrupt. Yeah, it's kind of close, I think, but they should be able to win this revolt, right? They've got 800 power projection versus 500, and Tibet has another 200. I just realized that like all of our states have turmoil. Wow, why do we have so many radicals? Oh, from low legitimacy. Wow, low legitimacy is giving that bad of radicalism? That's actually awful. 3 million radicals per month? I really wish I could get my investment pool to just like build. Cause yeah, I kind of need it to do that so that I can pause construction and then like lower taxes or something. Yeah, we actually kind of have to go command economy. Huh. Okay, we got wage subsidies through, which means the strike is completed. Very, very nice. That means we can now go to a more legitimate government. And yeah, we've got a lot less radicals now, or at least a little bit less. And now we're getting loyalists per month instead of radicals per month, because that low legitimacy was giving us a lot of radicals, which is not very nice. Yeah, Texas is still in turmoil, which is not exactly ideal. Would be nice to like level up, what's it called, police or something, I don't know. Oh, we've now hit #1 GDP per capita in the world, almost at 9. Looks like Navarra just happened to lose some of their GDP per capita, and that's what made us hit #1. I really want to go command economy. What? Okay, I don't know why I was showing that it had an 18% chance of succeeding, but I think going command economy, like, actually makes some sense. Yeah, we just need to make, like, the movements mad, and we need to better get the trade unions and government without it being too illegitimate. Which this might be a little bit too illegitimate. But it'll be fun to try out Command Economy for a game. It's been so long since I last played Command Economy. Yeah, I'm just gonna go down to medium taxes, bring the trade unions into government. This will be 50 legitimacy, which means we shouldn't be experiencing any radicalism issues. Then I'm gonna pass some laws that the socialist movement likes and then cancel them, and then do the same thing for the communist movement. Okay, actually, Council Republic should make both of them mad. Oh, that's not Council Republic. Oops. I mean, not. I guess. Huh. Okay, apparently the trade unions don't want Council Republic at the moment because of them being a corporatist. What can we pass that the socialist movement would like? I guess graduated taxation is something that we can fake pass to maybe make the communist and socialist movement a little bit mad. Hopefully. Let's see. Not quite enough. I guess. Workers' protections? No, the corporatists in charge of the trade unions make this really hard. Well, I guess we're getting a bit of a boost from the trade unions having a corporatist in terms of legitimacy, but it does make it impossible for us to get the socialist and communist movement on our side. So, yeah, I guess I gotta exile the trade unionist. Okay, he's now a nihilist, which is a bit less legitimacy. But I should now easily be able to do this. I just need to like cancel Republic, cancel, and now we should have a pretty good command economy pass. See 28%. And then I guess I gotta go to low taxes, which is yeah, not ideal. I mean, I wish I could get the investment pool to spend its money. I guess once we get command economy, we will seize all of the investment pool's money, so it's not too bad. We just need to not go bankrupt before that. I think since it's like 1908, I'm not gonna annex Heavenly Kingdom because it would just it's gonna take way too long to actually incorporate China. We'll just see what we can get without annexing them. I should try to get them down to puppet though. I mean, like, uh, and how do we get them down to puppet? Maybe we just have to do this normally. We can probably get them down to puppet eventually. Yeah, I don't think it's worth trying to annex them since it's already 1908. So if we annex them, we won't have that incorporated till like forever. So yeah, we can see what GDP per capita we can get, and we can see what block GDP we can get. You know, we can get pretty high block GDP. We're already at 5.2 billion in the block. I'm gonna promote the rest of our trade union admirals because I really want that success chance on command economy. Oh, nice! I got a success on command economy already. Very good to see. I think I might have just got 3 successes in a row on command economy. I don't know, but that's very nice. We get command economy through, which now means there's no way this is actually accurate. Let's give it like another Monday tick. I don't think our reinvestment should be this high. Yeah, okay, now it's at 7 million. It should be going down even more than this, I think, though. Yeah, we now have 1 million reinvestment, which is fairly low, but hopefully it'll be enough to continue privatizing all of our buildings. We have this company on accident because of conquering something. We can just disband that real quick. Yeah, I'm just gonna be... I guess we should go for a cautious ruler now because, yeah, if we get a cautious ruler, that'll be nice. But it does seem like command economy is looking pretty good here. Like, our balance is actually really solid. Actually, we're on low taxes right now because of legitimacy. Yeah, we have a really good balance. I'm feeling good about command economy. Although, actually, one question is, how is demand looking? Let's take a look at, like, are the bureaucrats going to go up in SOL, or how are they doing? They're going to go up in SOL like a little bit maybe, but not a lot. Okay. Yeah, our GDP looks like a lot lower, which is interesting. I guess maybe that's because the capitalists aren't really there anymore to give us demand. Yeah, government dividends is like almost all of our revenue. And then we're getting like 7 million from one company headquarters. I assume that's yeah, Durham Campania, 14 million company profits. Well, we're gonna let this run for a while and we'll see how it affects our GDP. Because yeah, the SOL or like the capitalists being non-existent is sort of a problem for like demand, I think maybe. But I think it might be fine. We'll see. Because just running a positive balance with the government is really nice. I mean, like we can actually just like maybe keep taxes lower. Yeah, I mean we can do like max gov wages, max mill wages. Just inject some money into the economy this way. That seems decent. I just wish our GDP was higher. Maybe command economy still crashes GDP too much? We'll see. I need to monopolize more things. Yeah, Ford can get motor and rubber monopolized. The nice thing with command economy is we do get more authority, which means we can monopolize more things easily. Very nice. Well, we are actually like out of people to employ up. You can really see that our GDP has sort of stagnated from command economy, I think. Like we're sitting at like 3.6 billion instead of like 4 billion. So maybe it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. To be fair, we are like a way before 15 billion GDP, which is what I like cited in my laws video, and it would be good. But we were like stockpiling a ton of money in the investment pool, so I did kind of think it was going to be worth stopping up to. Maybe I have to just like level up welfare and do that. Yeah, that actually might help because we need one of the welfare laws that increases like minimum wage. Maybe we go workers' protections. Yeah, maybe I try for workers' protections. I think it's maybe worth trying. You know, before workers' protections is pretty. Oh, but it is low legitimacy is the problem. Yeah, I can't really do that if it's going to be so low legitimacy. But theoretically, workers' protections would be nice for the minimum wage, I think, which would probably make our buildings a little bit less profitable, which would then mean we can get more demand from higher SOL. Because I am pocketing a lot of money right now. I guess I can just level up welfare, but I don't think we really are paying much in welfare payments here. We're basically paying nothing. I mean, I can just like start subsidizing all my buildings, I guess. I guess I can start spending money for like subventions on exports. That's probably a pretty good way to spend our huge government balance that we have. Yeah, let's start subventing automobiles, tools, engines, because we just got so much money, so we might as well just start subsidizing or subventing like everything that is cheap in our market that we could want to export. And then we should be able to build up like a ton of trade centers like this and just like export everything to the world. It might be best to build up trade centers in the East India Company. Yeah, I'll just spam like 1,000 trade centers in West Bengal or something. Maybe even more. Because I don't really want to waste my own pops on trade centers if possible, so probably just best to make the Indians work in the trade. So far I control about half of world exports. I think we need to make that like a 100% pretty soon here. Yeah, these people are trying to export wood. Do we have cheap wood? I actually don't know if we have cheap wood or not. No, we don't have really. That's the world market. Let's take a look at the American market price for wood. Where is wood? Please show me my wood price, game. We have pretty cheap wood. I'll put a low subvention on it. We can try and export some wood to the world market, making more profits. Yep, we hit a new all-time high GDP, 4 billion. Well, not all-time high, but this run high, I guess. My all-time high GDP is, of course, 100 billion, and with non-market isolation, like 11.5. I own almost a billion GDP overseas. That's quite a lot of overseas ownership in GDP. Yeah. Sitting at 4.24 billion. Oh, number one GDP per capita again. Very nice to see. I'm probably at 5 billion pretty soonish, like a couple more years. That seems like a pretty good goal. Just hit over a 10 GDP per capita for the first time in this campaign. In fact, this is one of my first times hitting over 10 GDP per capita. It's pretty rare for me to hit a GDP per capita that high, I think. India's doing pretty good at 683 million GDP. We are really just out of peasants in our country at this point. We've had women's suffrage for a while, but unfortunately our SOL has sort of climbed up recently to the point where we're not really going to be getting too much pop growth. China's slowly getting pretty good GDP. Probably going to be owning like a billion foreign GDP by the end of this campaign. Darn, Mexico, Netherlands, and New Granada owning a very small fraction of my GDP. How dare you? Some would say it's because I annexed part of their territories, mostly. I'm gonna go down to medium tax or minimum taxes because I want to inject some money into the economy. We're actually like completely fine on the balance even while running minimum taxes, which is kind of nice. Okay, Baku finished incorporating, and that should mean I can establish the Baku Oil Company, which will be pretty nice. It's our final company. Oh wait, why can I not establish it? What? Okay, I'm actually incredibly confused. I've now looked through every single company and it's just not there. What in the world? Huh? Okay, apparently I'm just blind. I mean, it's literally right at the top. Okay, well, monopolize. I wish I had a little bit more authority. Let's try. Oh, I am already on max gov wages, so I guess I can't get more to get electricity for now, at least. Unfortunate. Oh, right, I should probably, actually get my lands to be connected. Let's go for Honduras, and if the UK declines, we'll also take up, Newfoundland from them. Newfoundland is 26 infamy. That's the biggest scam ever, but, I gotta take it because otherwise the borders look bad, and, I must control all of continental North America. And then while we're at it, we can also... I really should have gone for a cautious character. We probably couldn't get one, though. Transfer... Mesquitia. Yeah, that's probably pretty good. So we'll leave it at that, probably. And then we'll just have to raise a bunch of conscripts for fighting the USA, not fighting the UK here, not the USA. That's the wrong country. We are the USA. Oh, we should also take the Panama Canal, I guess. Yeah, we... Oh, I accidentally just conquered British Guatemala. Okay, it doesn't matter, I guess. But yes, Panama is what I want to conquer, please. Where is Panama here? Should be somewhere, right? Hmm. Apparently Panama is a part of Honduras. Okay, well I guess we'll let it be then. The Brits are actually doing really well in like East Asia, so I guess I'm gonna have to do some conscripting and send an army over to East Asia to help deal with that, because that is a little bit scary that they're doing so well over there in East Asia. Gotta get some conscripts over there to protect it, because if India gets occupied, that would be very bad. Send an army over to like Hong Kong. Seems like there's kind of nothing left for my construction queue to use, so we're just gonna use our construction queue to stimulate the economy by yeah, we're gonna turn Patagonia into or what's our actually like smallest state? Um, American Mato Grosso, you can get yeah, roughly infinite you can get infinite automotive industries because they're 800 construction cost, and that way we can have something for our construction queue to do. The UK is doing surprisingly well in this war. I guess I should remember to put everyone on luxurious supplies. That should help out a little bit. Maybe I just need to start researching chem warfare, just in case. I think we should be able to win the war without it, but yeah, that'll help out a lot once we get it. We're about to take over British Guyana, I guess, which will be something. I guess I can try a naval invasion of the British Isles. Yeah, I have a pretty big navy, so that's probably good to try out. You can just get into London. That's certainly one way to win a war. What? How in the world do I only have 20 offense here? I've got really low org. Yeah, this naval invasion is not working out too well. Yeah, I guess we'll just have to cancel it. Unfortunate. Okay. Well, the UK is finally starting to lose war support, but yeah, India's gonna get occupied soonish. Okay, we got some troops we can send over. Yeah, we like need to send over these troops, or else India's gonna get occupied, and that would not be very nice. Hopefully, we can stop that. All of Japan is occupied. Yeah, things are not going as well as I would have hoped. Should have dedicated more troops to some of these fronts if possible, but it is kind of hard to do that. Yeah, can I do this? Oh, but then this front dies. Split formation, like 1-200 stack defense here. While we try to keep some troops over to defend China. Japan being occupied, like our GDP is kind of collapsing due to all of our subjects getting occupied, which is not ideal. Yeah, I need like a bunch more conscripts. You can become a conscript army. We need a lot more conscript armies. I wish I had not declared this war. Unfortunately, I don't have a save from before I declared this war because, yeah, this war is not going very well. Hopefully I can stop the occupation of Africa. I just need to get a new conscript army here to try to stop the occupation of Africa because getting Africa occupied would be, pretty awful. Yeah, I mean, like, I need to not crash the economy in this war. Yeah, this war did not go the greatest. Okay, I occupied the home counties from the UK, which is pretty nice. They're gonna cap out slowly now. Also, I think Germany has left the war. Yeah, they have. So that's good. What isn't so good is that our GDP is 2.6 billion again. Okay, the UK is finally negative war support. Oh, they don't quite want to make peace. East India Shan states, do I really care about that? No. We'll just give them that in exchange for peace. Yeah, okay, that's pretty good. Um, finally control pretty much all of North America. El Salvador is on our block. Can you subjugate them real quick? Yeah, that's pretty nice. All continental North America's in our market now, except for Alaska, but that's not real. That's not real. We ignore Alaska. Now, hopefully we can start heading back towards 5 billion GDP. Looks like the economy is bouncing back fairly quickly. We're already at 4.7 billion again, which is pretty decent. Should be able to hit 5 billion pretty soon. Yeah, India is also back to pretty much its normal GDP. Japan has still got a while to go back though. It's missing all of its economy. Yeah, the US population is so much more spread out in 1.10. Like you can just see like we've got like 10 million people in like a ton of states. And instead of having like one mega state, like I know in some previous patches they've had like 100 million people in Pennsylvania and stuff, and it just like seems like that's not really a thing that happens anymore. Instead, the pops are much more spread out. Like we've got a ton of states around 20 million and 10 million. I guess we can take a look at the culture map mode. You can see Han is not really taking over too much of our country. Probably should grant Han their own market, really, so they can mass migrate to me again. I want more mass migrations from Han. Yeah, they've got a lot of turmoil. Surely if I grant them their own market, they'll just mass migrate to me. Surely, surely. I guess I should get electricity as an additional company for Branabel, because we've got some extra authority. Might as well spend it on that. I hit 5 billion GDP very briefly, but I fell back down. I don't know why my SOL is like 1.5 below what it was back before the UK war, unfortunately. Very, very unfortunate. Yeah, our economy is looking pretty solid though. Unfortunately, we couldn't get significantly past 10 GDP per capita, considering that our workforce ratio, or it's actually not that much higher. We got like 170 million employed people out of 500 million. Huh. I guess that is 35%, but I would have expected a little bit better than 35%. I guess our trade unions aren't happy at the moment, but they have been happy a couple times throughout this run. Yeah, it's unfortunately very tough to keep the trade unions happy, powerful on Technocracy. Well, yeah, I'm gonna end off the run there. I think we did pretty solid. We definitely hit the limits of our population at some point. Definitely migration feels a lot different in 1.10, you know. Like in no previous patch would our population be this spread out. I actually wonder how many pops we actually have within the main 50 US states. Did we beat modern day US population? I should take a look at that real quick. Let's see if we beat the modern US. Gotta click on only the 50 US states. Just barely did not end up passing historical USA, or current USA population. Only 320 million people. At least I think this is all 50 states. I'm not sure, but there's not enough to make up the difference, because if there are any states, they're like down here or something. But yeah, we got almost 500 million people, 5 billion GDP. The population is so spread out. Like Illinois, Missouri, Nebraska. Nebraska having so much GDP, I think, is largely because I built up or so much population is because I built up a huge automotive industry here. Yeah, and I guess there's a little bit of oil, but since the automotive industry is the main thing carrying the GDP there. Yeah, that seems to be the case. This is what our GDP map mode looks like. We can see California and Oregon are doing decent. I believe Texas is our #1 GDP state. And then we got like Nebraska, Indiana. We got the culture map mode on UA, Japanese. Dixie has actually taken over Illinois. For some reason, everyone just really likes assimilating to Dixie instead of Yankee. Because I guess it should be 110 acceptance, but if you actually look at it, it's 100. But if you look at this, plus 60 plus 50 should equal 110. So I think it might actually be getting 110, which means that helps want to assimilate to it more or something. I don't know. Russian took over New Hampshire. I did not realize that. Very interesting. As you can also look at the religion map mode. See, some western states and Nebraska have been taken over by Sunni. Most of the middle is Hindu, and the east is still Protestant. Catholic is actually our #1 religion now. I guess that's largely because of South America, and yeah, just mostly South America, really. Guess we can't annex Canada. It's still a dominion. Dang, the evil Canadians. And our block GDP is just under 7 billion. We own almost a billion GDP overseas. GDP was higher overseas before the Great War with the UK. We had like a billion overseas, but yeah, the UK occupied Japan and India, so we lost a lot of GDP in that. Yeah, obviously we could have gotten more GDP if we would have annexed China like in the 1880s or whatever, but for not annexing China, I think we ended up with a pretty solid GDP here of 5 billion, 320 million people within the 50 US states. Yeah. I guess one final thing to look at is our company profits. We can see food companies shooting at just like 1 million profits, which is not too good. Explosive company at 5 million, Bernabel at 7 million, Ford at 16 million, Dairy Campagna at 17 million, Home Goods at 7 million, and New York Metalworks at 5. All of our companies are the top slots except for the food company. I think, yep, food companies right there. So we got all top 6 companies. So yeah, I guess that's going to be the end of the video. So goodbye.